Today, I have a gig downtown, and this one is an interesting one. We are setting up sound for a band inside of a baseball field. And not just any baseball field, but the home of the College World Series here in Omaha. Okay, but where's Matt? Well, we had to be adults and actually call each other. Apparently there's 2 locations to load in. And so, of course, true to form, I chose the wrong one. Whatever. I'm at the right space now, I think. Though, I don't know if I like this sign. There he is. Hey, buddy. I guess now we can unload stuff, since I'm finally at the right location. When he told me about this gig, I actually pictured it being on the baseball field, which would be insane. It'd be such a cool gig. But it's actually on one of the levels where you just walk around above the chairs. What the heck are those called? Mezzanines? Is that right? That's probably not right. But what do I know? I'm not an architect, I'm barely a sound guy. One short elevator trip later, and we are on the floor that we're supposed to be on. Okay, I'm not gonna fit. I'm gonna have to take off this backpack. Dang it. Now we just have to unload all this gear and take it to where we are setting up a stage. He's letting me know not to move that case because that'll keep the door open so it doesn't automatically close on us. I have no idea how far we're going or where we're setting up, and I'm really curious how it's gonna work with all this concrete. I imagine the slapback echo is gonna be insane. Whoa, how far away is Matt? Holy smokes. I guess we're getting our steps in again today. After seeing how far of a walk it is, I'm gonna pull out a couple things. Kinda curious if I can do 2 of these at the same time and maybe save myself a trip? I don't know. Either way, it has to be unloaded. Well, since somebody might want to use this elevator, I might as well just unload this in this little spot right now. That way we don't have to hold up the elevator for anybody else. These lifts that he has his speakers on are interesting. I don't think I've actually seen them in use yet. They are not normal lifts that you would put line arrays on, but in this case he's not going very high, and the idea is just to save himself and his back from lifting him up. I guess we will see how they work out. No man, runaway chair. Glad that happened to him and not me. Looks like Matt did take the doubled up subs, so maybe I can take these doubled up. Looks like I totally can, but it's slow as heck. Totally not worth it. Well, I divided them up. That was silly. Check out the view that we have while we are setting up. It is so cool to be in a venue when you're one of the few only people here. Look at the big brains on these guys, giving themselves shade while they're working out on the field. That's a really smart idea. So far this is shaping up to be an interesting gig for sure. I bet some of you had some gigs that are in really cool places like this. It's nice to not be always at a bar. And here you go. Here's why he has them. So that he can crank about 200,000-300,000 times to get it to the right height. I kid. Rolling these was a lot easier than carrying them, and now you don't have to put them onto sticks or on top of the subs. It does save time. And now I'm going to show him how man does it. Look at how strong I am. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm actually running out of steam already. Check out this cool M32R case. That's super handy. Ah, what's that? Must be something from the last gig. Get out of here. I got you, man. Well, we don't need my champion distro box today. They have power right next to the stage. I'll go ahead and use the bottom one. Okay, logically I'd like to use the bottom one, but apparently it's zip tied. So I guess we'll go on this one. See, there's a really nice channel that these cables all fit in nicely. And of course, I didn't put my cable in there because I'm not very smart, it seems. Sorry, Matt. Now we're gonna set up a little bit of lighting. This is kind of a mixture of a band and DJ lighting. I really like these. The tops are some Chinese lights that you can't actually get anymore, but they do some fun lettering and colors that you can do in there. And then these are just the Rockville totems, and when you light them up, they just add a pop of color. I personally like the look of these more than, say, a freedom stick or those tube lights in the background. Those kind of get so bright that they're blinding, or they create silhouettes for the bands. These have a nice glow, which really adds to the atmosphere of the show. And he is going to control them wirelessly. And these are just a 2.4 gigahertz wireless. A lot of people have problems, but honestly, they've worked great for him. Whoa, easy light, calm down. The front fill lights are going to be the good old Wash FX again tonight. And he's going to be running the lights off a Luminair, which are running into this DMX controller. And if you really want to sell lights, you need haze, and this hazer has seen it all, and it's still kicking. It's expensive, but it's good. So here you have it. We're running the 8008 subs from RCF, and then we are running the HDL 10s on the top. There's two of them. Seeing how the halls are so long, Matt has decided he wants to get a couple of 12-inch speakers to run as side fills. And we're waiting for this elevator, which apparently is never coming. Hello? There we go. And Matt changed his mind because the other side doesn't open up and he doesn't want to get stuck. Back to the freight elevator it is. That's alright. Riding in elevators is a good time. Well, unless you have a fear of getting stuck, which I totally have, so that's fun. It's a really long way to walk just for a couple side fills. Is it gonna be worth it? I guess we'll find out in a little bit, won't we? Back on the elevator. Wait, what the? Oh my gosh. Somebody get murdered on this elevator? That's gross. Matt thought I was gonna cut my finger off. I'm not that dumb. Or am I? Alright. Time to set up some side fills. He wants them to be set about the same height as the front speakers, which is really convenient because it's just right at the edge of where I can reach. And of course, my luck, it's not going down. It also isn't coming off, so I can't just let go, but Matt saved the day. Alright, let's see if it was worth all that effort. Yep, you're right, Matt. It was worth it. And now we head home, take a shower, and come back and set up the band. Hooray! My car is still here. What a great day. Nothing like a nice calming drive down I-80. Well, I am showered and changed, and I am ready to get started. Looks like the band is here and already starting to set up. I don't have really anything to do, so I might as well try to clean up these lines a little bit. At least make them so they're not just hanging everywhere. One of the band members was using this cart and it collapses all the way flat. I wonder if I could put my monitors on this and save time. This band is actually one of my favorite ones to go see when I wasn't doing sound, so I'm curious to see if they've added anything new to their set lists. I guess I never really explained what the gig is. It is the annual meeting for a bunch of business owners, and they're going to have catered food and, of course, the live band. Let's take a look at the gear tonight. The lead singer will be playing keyboard, and he also has some fun vocal effects, which he'll be running through his vocoder through this little tube right here. There's another vocalist going wireless tonight. The bass player will be using this pedal board, which is running into an orange head and cab. And he'll be playing through this Lakeland bass. He also has his own microphone, which is wireless. This is the guitar player's pedal board. It has the most sideways pedals I've ever seen. His cab is being mic'd by a 906 Sennheiser, and I believe his amp head he actually made himself. His guitar is a Fender Strat, and for his more aggressive tones, he has a Washburn with humbuckers in it. The drummer has a highlight kit, and he mics everything himself with the SM57s. Most people prefer the Sennheisers, but these give you a really crisp sound. And of course, we're miking underneath the hi-hat and underneath the ride. His throne is a good old rockin' sock, and he has an iron copra with aluminum beaters. This band runs their own in-ear monitor system. At the heart of it is an Allen & Heath rack mixer, and then there's some IEMs from Shure. The guests have started to arrive, and you know I'm about to get some of those pretzel bites. Check out these fun toothpicks in these sliders. The guests were also treated to some guided tours of the actual baseball diamond? Baseball field? Yes. Okay, let's get started.
Oh, we need everybody here. Come on, y'all. RTL World, sing with us.
And just like that, it's over. It's really crazy when you think about how much work actually goes into pulling off just a 3-hour gig. It's kind of like Thanksgiving. You spend all that time cooking, and then you sit down for like, what, 30 minutes to eat? But it's a good meal. You can see this candid moment of the guitar player taking in those last views of the night of the baseball field. It really doesn't come across in video, but it was really, really neat to see in person. It's gigs like these that kind of reinvigorate you as a sound person. Sometimes it feels like you get stuck in a Groundhog Day of the same bar gigs over and over. Even though I actually really like meeting the bands, it still can kind of get old for you. The other plus side is when you actually get to work with somebody else. I have no problems working solo, but I prefer to have somebody else with me. That way you can just talk smack about the band. Just kidding. But when you're working with somebody that you get along with that's also a hard worker, it does make the evening way more enjoyable, even though you're technically working. And here's one last look of the big ol' empty space where we just had a ton of people and a really, really good band playing, and now it's just a quiet evening. I like to take a little second out of my time to just take one last look. You don't get a recharge like this very often. Well, enough messing around. I bet Matt's wondering where the heck I am. I'd like to thank all of you for watching my videos. It's really meant a lot to me, and I really appreciate all of you that have started heading over to my Patreon to help support me there. I hope you have all enjoyed watching these videos as much as I've enjoyed making them. Thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you at the next gig.